This is KGW News at Sunrise.
There are plenty of places across the United States where snow, ice, these things happen, and the city, the local government is able to respond.
Restaurants and other businesses are asking for help and change after last week's weather essentially wiped out a week's worth of sales and potential profits. Coming up, we'll hear what they're asking local lawmakers to do about it.
And before you head out the door this morning, we have updates on MAX lines and disrupted Amtrak service between Portland and Seattle. Those updates and more coming up in just a few minutes.
And a heads up for SNAP recipients this morning. We're going to share the details on how to get reimbursed for any food that was lost last week during those power outages.
Good Monday morning to you. The topic this morning, the thaw. We're finally there.
I can hardly see any snow left on the bricks in downtown Portland, so that is great news.
If you're watching from the Hood River area this morning, you understand.
Oh, I guess. Okay, you're right.
We'll
you're
talk
right.
about that
okay,
in a second. Yes, Columbia River Gorge, Upper Hood River Valley, still under an ice storm warning, but even there, the temperatures are falling. We'll look at that in just a minute. Let's get you out the door. Live look at radar right now. Rain, in fact, some pretty good rain now falling across parts of the area, and not out of the question that maybe even we hear a rumble of thunder later today as you get down towards Salem or even at the Oregon coast. Little potent and compact weather system coming ashore here early this morning here across northwest Oregon. Okay, back to the Hood River Valley and the Gorge. You folks under, well, the Upper Hood River Valley and the Central Gorge under an ice storm warning until 10 a.m. Winter weather advisory to the east of that again until 10 a.m. Even here, temperatures are thawing out, but at last check, Hood River still sits at 32. Meanwhile, it is 40 at PDX with an east-southeast breeze at 20. And here's the big perspective across the state. 32 Pendleton, 32 Gorge. So there still could be some trouble out here. We do have some late openings and even some school closures across the Columbia Basin and in the Gorge. You'll see those on our website, kgw.com. Meanwhile, 52 in Salem, 52 in Tillamook. And the plan for today has temperatures inching into the upper 40s in Portland. South of Portland, easily to the 50s. You're already there. You'll stay there most of the day. The wettest part of our day is now. We go with occasional showers for the remainder of our Monday. And check this out, sunset in the 5 o'clock hour now. The days are getting a little bit longer. How about that? Let's go ahead and check out the roads right now. A live look at the freeways, and you are looking at Marine Drive. That's the Marine Drive overpass atop I-5. Traffic is rolling along shifts fine there. We'll take you down to Wilsonville, I-5 through Clackamas County, Marion County, and points north. Looks good. And we'll shift gears real quick. We'll take you out to Interstate 84. This is out in Wood Village, out near 238th Avenue. Again, wet roadways. No icicles on that camera lens this morning, guys.
Yes, thank you, Chris. The winter weather has, for the most part, cleared out of the metro area, right? Allowing transit, schools, and business to almost get back to normal.
Yeah, we're going to have updates on all of those areas here this morning. Let's start with schools. So most schools will resume classes this morning, including ones in the biggest districts in the metro area. We're talking Beaverton, Hillsborough, Gresham, Barlow, and the biggest one of all, Portland Public. That being said, some Portland schools will still be closed for at least another week in some cases because of storm damage. And it's a different story altogether in the Gorge this morning. Many schools there will be closed again today as they brace for another round of snow and ice. We have a full list of school closures and delays at KGW.com.
There's also been major progress in getting transit back up and running. All storm-related disruptions on MAX lines have been cleared. A heads up, though, the entire MAX red line is disrupted from now until March 4th for construction. There will be shuttle buses, though, between Gateway Transit Center and PDX. Shuttles are also running in place of blue and green line trains throughout Northeast. All streetcar service is back online.
All right, let's talk about Amtrak service because it is still suspended between Portland and Seattle this morning because of a landslide near Kelso. Back on Friday, when service first shut down, passengers on a train from Seattle to Portland say they ended up getting stuck for hours. They got a text from Amtrak saying that a bus would come and take them the rest of the way to Portland, but that quickly became easier said than done.
We were halfway to Kelso when we got a text message from Amtrak saying your train line has been terminated. We could not secure buses. You will be returned back to your original stations.
Adding to the problem, the crew on that train had maxed out their hours, so those passengers waited another 5 hours for a new crew to show up. Amtrak says service between Portland and Seattle will resume by 10:45 tomorrow morning.
During the storm, many restaurants and bars were forced to close their doors. Now they're pressuring Oregon leaders to help them recover. As Sydney Dorner found, one of the things they want city and state leaders to acknowledge this type of weather-related issue that they experienced really isn't rare.
Some of their asks include working with utility companies to reduce power outages and creating a relief fund for restaurants with less than 100 employees. Right now, they estimate about 60% of Western Oregon restaurants are in danger of failing. Ice from the winter storm is melting across the Portland area, but restaurants and bars are still stuck in a rut. They say without help from the state and city, their food carts, bars, and restaurants may have to close.
We're still coming off a lot of the challenges of the pandemic. I can say that for this restaurant specifically, we're still not doing the level of business that we were doing in 2019 pre-pandemic. And despite the fact that we have lower revenue, we have rising costs, we have a lot of things sort of working against us.
Restaurants and bars across the state presented 5 ways in which the state and city can help them, stating each dollar spent in an Oregon restaurant puts $2 in the state's economy.
There are plenty of places across the United States where snow, ice, these things happen, and the city, the local government is able to respond, and people are able to stay safe, and people are able still to go about their daily lives, and that's just not the case here.
Some of their demands include more snowplows and salt on the roads, placing a moratorium on commercial evictions for 3 months, and improved response times to outages.
When we lose business, $75,000 of business, that means that we're not buying beer, wine, we're not supporting our local farmers. Everybody is feeling the impact.
Restaurants and bars say after COVID reduced consumer spending and inflation, they just can't afford the hit from the storm. They say if leaders don't act quickly, they just might sink. Sydney Dorner, KGW News.
Well, anyone who gets SNAP benefits and had to throw spoiled food away last week because of things like power outages, you do have the opportunity to get that food replaced.
Right, but you need to act fast because the window to request those benefits is short. Devin Haskins is live with what you need to know. Good morning, Devin.
Yeah, good morning. So that window you talked about is 10 days from the date that food spoiled. And in order to get reimbursed, you do need to contact the Oregon Department of Human Services. We have a couple of ways that you can do that. You either have to go in person, by phone, or email. We're going to put up on your screen a couple of ways to contact them. The phone number, 800-699-9075, or you can send an email to oregon.benefits@odhsoha.oregon.gov. Users will then be asked to submit a list of the food lost and the estimated cost of each item. Reimbursements will be added to the current EBT card. Once processed, cannot exceed the user's regular monthly allotment.
Well, we know that so many Oregonians are facing crisis right now, and when you're already facing food insecurity, additional disruptions like this can be really demoralizing. And we want people to know that you don't have to go it alone. These systems and structures are in place to support you, and we really encourage people to reach out and get these replacement benefits.
Now, keep in mind, it could take a couple of days before you see those reimbursements show up on that EBT card. So there are a couple of ways. One, you can call 211 to find the nearest to get food assistance. You can also go to the Oregon Food Finders tool on the Oregon Food Bank's website to find the nearest food bank or pantry that's nearest to you. Back to you.
All right, Devin Haskins reporting live for us this morning. Another update for you. Most Portland Parks and Rec facilities, programs, classes, and activities will be closed today because of everything from frozen boilers to broken pipes to ice melt causing ceiling tiles to fall out. All that, not to mention downed trees and damage to electrical systems impacting some facilities. So here's the bottom line. You should check the Portland Parks and Rec website for information and updates this week.
Look at that. If you can believe it, that is the parking lot at Multnomah Falls. This morning, the area is closed after the Forest Service closed it Friday because of ice and flooding that you see there. A big chunk of the historic Columbia River Highway, by the way, from Larch Mountain to Ainsworth is shut down too due to extensive snowdrifts, tree fall, and rockfall. The Forest Service says many hiking trails in the gorge are also extremely dangerous right now for the same reasons.
Chris, I was driving out in Clackamas County last night, like boring area, sandy. It seemed like every road I was driving on was just filled with water. Like I could just, I could just feel like the water under my tires the whole way.
Yeah. We spent the weekend in Eugene visiting some of our in-laws, and it looked like, I mean, for lack of a better term, a war zone down there with trees down.
Okay.
Our in-laws couldn't even get out of the driveway until Saturday. And getting help and getting folks out there to cut trees down and all that kind of stuff, just
hard.
Big repercussions from this storm, right? We still are dealing with some issues in the Columbia River Gorge specifically, so let's talk about that. And while I mention that, I do want to mention also that the Washougal School District now just coming in with a 3-hour delay. Reminder, go to KGW.com for the updated list on those. They are less numerous than they were last week, but folks east of the Cascades, especially and in the gorge, you folks are still dealing with some wintry weather. Winter weather advisory for the blue shading here, and this purple shading indicates an ice storm warning for the central gorge and the upper Hood River Valley until 10 a.m. Now that said, it's getting better, but we are still sitting at 32 degrees right now in Hood River, and I'll take you up above Hood River. This is Highway 35 near Parkdale, near the ODOT maintenance yard, and you can see there obviously a snow and slush covered road, or snow and ice covered roadway there as you head up and south out of Hood River on Highway 35. Out to the Dalles, Oregon's Veterans Home in the Dalles, showing plenty of snow out there, right? But we are up to 33 degrees in the Dalles. I also did want to point this out. I didn't mention this in traffic just a few minutes ago, but late last night we had numerous crashes on 197 south of Interstate 84 in Wasco County. Highway 197 is closed for about 60 miles south of Interstate 84. That's in Wasco County this morning. 33 in the Dalles, 32 in Hood River. We're in the 40s and 50s though in the Willamette Valley, and that is great to see. Most of us dealing with wet weather this morning. There still are some pockets of freezing rain. Again, East Gorge or Central Gorge and the upper Hood River Valley. Outside of those areas, and a couple of scattered areas of some freezing precipitation in the Columbia Basin, it is generally just rain for all of us. Compact storm system making landfall late last night, bringing kind of numerous showers to the region this morning. They will dissipate a little bit this afternoon, but then we get into a little bit of an unstable air mass this afternoon, which sets the stage for more pop-up showers. So the end result is that today will be somewhat of a wet day here across northwest Oregon and southwest Washington. Fast forward Futurecast into tomorrow morning, and it looks like we get an opportunity to dry out. I don't know that we'll see much in the way of sunshine tomorrow, but at least a somewhat dry day on Tuesday before our next weather system rolls in on Wednesday. This one could bring us a half an inch of rain, so that'll be a good rainmaker for us. Snow levels in the Cascades initially down around 4,500 feet. We'll get a good dump there early, but then the snow levels creep up Tuesday night and into Wednesday. 40, last check. I should say Wednesday into Thursday, excuse me. 40 last check at PDX. Our modeling has temperatures kind of holding steady in the upper 40s at PDX today. Meanwhile, surrounding communities easily into the 50s, and even the gorge getting out of the icebox here, mid-30s in Hood River and the Dalles this afternoon. 7-day forecast up near 50 tomorrow, and Wednesday we'll celebrate when that happens. And guys, a 7-day forecast that has no threat of lowland ice or snow in it. We'll be right back.